Welcome back. We are getting into more Major League Baseball. This time we are going to the nation's capital. The Washington Nationals are a team that severely unachieved last year. I mean, look at the roster they have, and you see they should have definitely won the National League East and definitely got into the playoffs. Well, last year's terrible output cost Matt Williams his job, along with some others in that organization. So there's a new sheriff in town that we'll get to in a second. But with the talent they have, no reason from 1 to 9 that they should not challenge deep into September this year.
And don't be surprised with Bryce Harper this season. I'm going to go on record now to say he will be the #1 player in 2016. I believe he'll be #1. He had a .330 batting average last year and 42 home runs, compared to Mike Trout's .299 batting average and 41 home runs. And I think that Bryce Harper this year will actually end up overtaking Mike Trout for the #1 spot. He has the determination and the drive, and he had such a great season last year. I think that's going to carry on to the season this year.
Well, he certainly looked the part this spring, and he wasn't the only one that looked like maybe the best player at his position. How about this guy, Max Scherzer? It's not Mads, it's going to have to be Max, but my man looked ridiculously good this spring. And the funny thing was, it wasn't even up to his standards, because that's where he sets it. In the game that we got to see, he was going up against Adam Wainwright of the Cardinals, one of the best pitchers also, in that division. Now, not only did those guys go pitch for pitch, Scherzer definitely won that battle. He finished going with 9 strikeouts in just 5 innings of work. His problem, he felt like he wouldn't quite have the command he was looking for, did have 3 walks, but he didn't give up any earned. He worked himself out of a couple big jams. He definitely had command of the entire situation, it felt like, and he looks to be another guy that can carry that top of that rotation.
I got to be better at pounding the zone and being in those 1-2 counts, not being in 2-1 counts. But at the same time, I mean, it's something that can easily be fixed, but at the same time, you got to like where all my pitches are at, how everything's moving. I am able to throw all the off-speed pitches for strikes, so, it's something I can build off of.
Well, that's right, Max. Well, Dusty Baker, good old Dusty, is back on the bench. The coolest cat in the clubhouse. He takes over from Matt Williams, and what a roster he inherits. I said it before, this team can do it all, and they're counting on a veteran manager like Baker to get the best out of these guys. There has been one big surprise this camp. Baker talked about his emerging center fielder, Michael Taylor.
I can't say no. I mean, I can't say more than I said yesterday. He did the same thing yesterday or the day before. I mean, he's been playing his butt off. But, him and Ben Rivera, both of them had great springs. I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. Ben's supposed to get on base and score runs. Michael has the capability of doing everything, so, but we can only play 3 at a time.
Only play 3 at a time. well,
embarrassment of riches, basically.
Well, that's what happens when you got 4 good players in the outfield with only 3 spots left. Look, we know what Dusty Baker can do, and like you said, when you look at this roster 1 through 9, I don't think there's any reason that they should underachieve. They could throw me or you out there, and we can win some ball games. And we can win some ball games.
Yeah, you look at him, and I feel like the exact same way. And it's funny when you look at that outfield. Taylor he hit 500 so far this spring.
Yeah.
500. That is incredible. Yeah. And you talk about the rest of that outfield. I mean, they are stacked in a lot of places. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of work him into this situation, because he's got to find his reps. I mean, he's got to get some at-bats. He's earned it with what he's done this spring. So it's going to be a little bit of a juggling act. There's going to be some egos probably that are going to be hurt a little bit, but that's why. Yeah, I think Jason Worth, here's the thing. Jason Worth's a veteran. He's done it before. He's earned the right to at least hold that position to start, but from what everyone out there that I was talking was saying, he's the guy that they look at might be the odd man looking in and kind of needs to be that veteran presence on the bench possibly. We'll see if that happens, but when you start looking at, I guess, the season, as a Braves fan, I would love to say that this will be our season. I don't know if we're going to win 20 games, and so we'll just go ahead and just leave them out of the conversation. I feel like it's got to be the Nets, and it'll be the first time in a while, they're not going to be favored going in, and that'll be something that'll be interesting, because the last couple of years they love to put the pressure on themselves. They love to say we're the team that needs to be beat in this division, and they kept getting beat, or at least they would get to the playoffs and then underachieve once they got there. I don't think it's going to happen this year. They have too many good guys, too many pieces that have finally kind of come into their own. And they got the new manager there with Dusty, and I think Dusty can really navigate this group.
And I think with the lack of pressure going into the season, not being the favorite, they can just kind of relax and just play baseball and have fun, and I think that is going to carry them to the end. That's
a very good point, Kayleen. I got to admit it. All right, we're not done yet. Next week, coming up after this commercial break, we are talking Phillies. Some new names, some new faces in Philly. Might be looking to surprise some people coming up next.
I'm Jack Wheely. I'm a pitcher for Easton High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.